Talking with the experts.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. My name's Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com, and today my guest is Sue Giacobbe, and Sue lives in Adelaide, Australia, and she is a coach, mentor and facilitator of change who is passionate about people and their potential. She has over 16 years of experience in managing people and teams in the areas of student recruitment, marketing and communications, community development and philanthropy in the education sector. Welcome, Sue, and lovely to see you again, and welcome and thank you for joining me.
Hello, Rose, and thank you very much for having me on here. It's great to be with you.
Yes, so tell me a little bit more about your journey and what you do.
So currently I am a life coach, as if there's going to be a change, but I am a life coach and I work with predominantly women, but I do have also male clients, but predominantly women. I work on one-on-one coaching with them, but also run training and workshops in organisations, whether it be schools or at the moment with my partner, we're running them in schools and the aged care sector. And that's around building individuals within a team, within an organisation, so professional development for them. So that's, I guess, where I am now. In my, where I came from was a wide range of businesses. I've run a restaurant, I've run a real estate, I've been in real estate myself, so about 10 years, been in the fashion industry, and then more recently in the education system where I worked with teams and began departments and worked in the areas of community development in schools. So that's kind of where I've come from and where I am now.
Terrific. That's a great segue into other things that you can offer businesses. So, do you work with individuals or do you work with organisations as a whole?
Both. So work with. There's almost two arms to my business, and that's working with individuals for their own personal development or their career growth or developing their own businesses, but also work in organisations to help develop their teams. So developing individuals within a team, within an organisation. Because I always say an organisation is built up of individuals. It doesn't matter what the mix looks like, but it's the individuals that, move an organisation forward.
So based on working with individuals within a team, within an organisation, can you tell me a little bit more about what that might look like?
Yeah. So I've worked in enough organisations to see that many times there is professional development training, workshops, conferences for management and upper management, teaching staff or principals. But when it comes to administration staff or non-teaching staff, there isn't that much available. And that was one of my things when I was in that setting. I was really advocating for good professional development to grow and develop those team members that don't get access to it. And so what we do is we leave these team members behind as an organisation grows when we don't provide that opportunity for them. So that was like a little thing for me that I'm like, that's not fair. Everybody should get really good professional development. It's not just about, how to do an Excel sheet, which is very valuable for their, for their area of expertise. However, it's that whole area of mindset and communication and knowing your values and your strengths within an organization and building us up as individuals to contribute to the bigger part, which is the organization.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I absolutely agree. I think as an individual within an organisation or within a team, sometimes you get overlooked, especially if you're a bit on the quiet side. And you don't put your hand up for things, and you just, I guess, follow the pack, and not that you don't contribute, but you just sit in the background and don't have a say on things. And it's really great when you can draw those people out, because quite often they have quite good ideas, and they're either too frightened to say anything. Well, that's usually the case. They're too frightened to say anything in case that their idea might get poo-pooed away, and people don't agree with them, or they don't not listen to. So again, I know that you have been on Healing Through Love show, because you have come out the other side of a domestic violence situation. Tell me a little bit more about how you educate and empower women in that space.
Yeah, so yes, my background is that I came from an abusive situation, no confidence, no voice really, very small, and kept myself dim, and just don't make any waves because that's staying safe. And I came out of that situation, and so my thing now is I'm very passionate about women going beyond that stage and thriving, because it's not just about staying in that survival mode. It's good to get there and then to move from there, because being in that survival mode, our brain keeps in a space of I must stay safe. And so it's a very unhealthy thing for us. We do things that are about keeping us safe and unseen, rather than going, okay, there's a lot within me. And so I'm passionate about helping women remember who they truly are, their truest essence, reconnecting with that, and then looking at what's possible for them. So that question of what could I possibly do beyond where I am now, and allowing us that, that freedom to dream and explore and start to make some of those dreams a reality again.
Yep, it's a wonderful thing. You'll see how at the Pamper Days, how women are transformed from when they walk into the Pamper Day and then walk out. You'll see a transformation in just such a short time, just having that feeling of connection with other women, and people bringing them confidence, even if it's only for an hour or so. And it's quite a transformation just for an hour.
It really is. And yesterday, Lucy and I finished, we ran an expo called Connect and Grow Expo, and similar line. It's about connecting women to the resources that are out there. It's connecting women to what is possible. We ran some workshops, and to see how they left after the expo, how they walked away thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't know that I could do that. I didn't know that I could even allow myself to dream. And in some of the presentations, just seeing women actually shed some tears and allow themselves to feel and kind of go, yes, I don't want to stay stuck. I don't want to be living robotically anymore, and taking that first step. So it just gives me goosebumps when I see that. And then even some of my clients that I've been seeing that came and brought a friend, and seeing the difference in their life, I'm just like, this is why I do what I do.
Yeah. And if you can empower, women in that space, and even, individuals within organisations, if they can get that same feeling that they are worthy, they are, somebody that has something to contribute, it's got to make them feel heaps better than what they were before you started working with them. It's got to be great.
Yeah, and just I think giving ourselves permission as women to say, well, what do I want for me? Because we're really good at giving and doing for others, but it's just that stopping and saying, what do I actually want for me? Who am I again? And stepping into that. And I remember when I stepped out from a very well-paying job to step into running my own business, I had people that were concerned around me to say, is something wrong?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on for you? Because I was like I would not leave a job without having a job. Everything was about the safety of the income. But my purpose and my passion, it was like burning more and more. And the last 2 years before I stepped into my own business, it was a really a strong struggle for me to kind of keep staying in that world when really I needed to move into where I am now. Yeah. But it was interesting how people around me reacted of like, are you okay?
Yeah, that's the issue too. I got the same from my family when I started my own business. This was the same. I was mad. You're not going to go anywhere. Are you doing the right thing? Who's going to pay you to do what you do? Who's going to, all negativity. No, there was nothing positive came out of their mouths, except, oh yeah, good luck. And that was about it. And, to start one's business with negativity from those around you is quite difficult to deal with.
And so, my thing to that is find those that encourage and support you and connect with them and be fed by them as well. Because we already have little stories going on in our head saying those things. And for me, I had like my kids that were going, yeah, that's great, Mum, go do this, and my husband that was like, can we do this financially? Like, what is this going to mean for us? So there was all these conflicting, or friends that were saying, is everything okay? This is not normally how you will, have been doing stuff. But find those people that support what you're doing, that can add value to this new dream of yours and will help you nurture it and, help you with your own stories could I do this? Who do I think I am that I've got something to offer? Oh my gosh, could I even make money from this? They're all our own stories that are going on anyway. So connect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to, as you said, find those positive people. But, as women who are maybe wanting to step out of their corporate roles, what would you suggest to them, to do that? What stories can they implant in their brain to say, yeah, I can do this? What would you say to them?
So firstly, if there are stories going in your head, know that most people, women or males, that have stepped into a venture that is kind of out of the safety zone have stuff going on in their head. So that is natural. That is our brain trying to, that's the survival part of our brain trying to keep us safe. Know that you're safe and start by getting prepared. Don't just jump in without preparation. So start by getting prepared. What is it that you really want to do? How are you going to do this? Who are the people that you're going to connect with that might mentor you, support you, connect you with the right, what are your goals? When do you want to start? So have the more structure and planning you have around it, the safer you will feel, because it's not, you've got a parachute that you're going with. And understand that language is old stories that we've been playing in our life regardless of what we do when it gets a little bit out of our comfort zone. So start flipping it. Start looking at where you have been successful in life. And it doesn't mean business. It means in anything you've done, whether it's been, as a mother, how you hold things together, in a workplace, projects that you've run, people, and friends that you've supported, and look at all of the things that you have achieved in your life and use those as your stories. Every time the negative one comes up, go back and remember and connect to the story that shows you you have been able to do it. You do have skills. You do have talents. You are worthy. You do have knowledge.
Yeah, great advice. Great advice. So I guess moving on from that, what's the next step that if once they've started their business, what would be the next step for them, do you think?
So I find having a mentor, a coach, somebody, a friend that will hold you accountable and help you along with the steps that you go, that supports you, that accountability buddy. I found that to be very useful for me because my coach was able to help me not only overcome the head stuff that was going on in my head, but also keep me on my track when things got a little bit too scary and I wanted to procrastinate with other things.
The shiny objects, yeah. I'm so guilty of shiny objects.
Yes, I'm like, there's another course I could do.
That's
Idea I have, and I have a lot of ideas, and a big thing for me was how to bring that in and not just go off on all these tangents, because I got so excited about all the things I could do. But it was like having somebody to bring me back in and say, okay, they're great, why are you doing this? What is the outcome that you want to achieve? And every time, coming back to that. So yes, either procrastinating for me or signing up to a new course was my way of
yeah, mine's new ideas. It's either that or making a new landing page for some other idea. This podcast was one of my shiny objects, and it's actually doing quite well, so I was really pleased with that.
Yeah, and so it's about writing those ideas down.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You don't know which one will take off, but it's getting them out of our head and writing them down and having a plan of, okay, if I'm going to try this idea, then what are my steps forward? How am I going to do it? Let me give it a good go. And remembering there's no real such thing as failure. They're just exploring ideas, exploring things that we learn from, that develop skills that we pull into then the thing that does take off.
Yeah, but there's failure really is they're just experiences to make you, I guess, do better next time. They're not failures because they're learnings. You learn from them, and and then you move on, and you just do better next time. And so, what's your advice, I guess, on things like systems and when you're first starting out? And I mean, to me, I'm a systems person, and I like to be very structured. Do you believe that that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think structure is a very good thing. Like anything, don't let it be the thing that you procrastinate on, because again, perfection can come into it and we want everything to be perfect, whatever perfect is, because I don't think that even exists, but it's the thing that keeps drawing us away from actually doing something sometimes. But systems really important because they're the things that help us I guess with structure and system is also discipline and freedom. Because when we put systems in place, it takes away a bit of the chaos that we can get, because it's like, oh, how did I do that again? Where did I put that file? There's a link that I had, and I'm a big one. That is one of my areas of potential growth is systems and structure, because I can be very, let me just do this, and I do it, but then I don't necessarily keep where my links were or where this was. And so then I have to double handle. So with structure comes efficiency.
Yes.
And you don't have to keep remembering, where did I put that? How did I file it? What was the thing I did?
Yes. So are you a believer that you should write these things down, and so every process that you have, you should write them down and keep them in a notebook or file somewhere and they're actually written down in a Word document or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I've started to do now, because that kind of chaos was not helping me, and I don't enjoy it. And I like to just be able to repeat things without having to redo them from scratch. So now I have files, and for each project, and all my links are in there, or the way that I did it, the process, that's all building. And of course, it's not going to look, necessarily complete right from day one, but it's about the adding to it and then tweaking it.
Yeah.
Rather than starting over again.
Yeah, well, it's a good idea to have them too. If you start, get large enough to be able to outsource, because then you can just give that document or file or whatever to your VA, and they can just follow the process. And obviously, it's not going to go awry anywhere, is it? Anytime soon.
That's right, and that was actually the thing that motivated me to get that going, was because I decided to have a VA, and then the VA was saying, can you provide me with this? Can you provide me with that? And I'm like, okay, I need to pull this together. So I was thinking, all right, where do I have these things?
Yeah.
So that really helped me along on that process. But yes, it's easier to begin these documents when you first start, because then you have them all in the one place. You can go back and tweak them. It's not a problem, but at least you have them in the one place.
Absolutely. Yep. I totally 100% agree with you there. So any final words of wisdom, Sue?
Yeah, if something is calling deeply in your heart, then pay attention to it, get curious and start exploring it. Whether that's going to be a business that you're going to create, or whether that's something that is my give back to the community, whatever, or whether it's something that it's like, this is for me, that gives me my soul joy and I want this as part of my life. Whatever that calling is, hear it, and pay attention to it, explore it, be curious and play with it, because you just don't know where it's going to go. And soul's calling is very strong, and it doesn't leave us alone. It just kind of keeps interfering with,
It does. It keeps nagging away, doesn't it? Yep. It does.
Yeah. Just, whatever it is, have fun with it, play with it, enjoy life.
Yeah, life, you've got to have a life. You've got to have all those things, and stop worrying so much about what could happen, because it may never eventuate.
That's right. And that can stop us from moving forward, because we're afraid of what might happen and we don't know.
That's correct. Yep.
What might happen might be absolutely magical. So I should miss out on that.
That's it. Exactly. All right, Sue, we've run out of time. Thank you so much for your time today. I've really enjoyed our conversation, and I'm hoping that the women that are listening will take on board the things you've had to say, because it's been quite valuable, and I'm sure by listening they'll learn a lot.
Yeah, and thank you so much for having me, Rose. It's been lovely chatting with you and getting to share,
Sharing's good. Sharing's caring.
It is. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Sue.